Alright folks, let's dive into a fascinating thought experiment. Imagine if your beloved iPhone 15 Pro Max, instead of being assembled in China, was entirely made in the good old US of A. What would that mean for you, the consumer, and for Apple as a company? Let's break down what that would mean for your wallet. First up, labor costs. Right now, assembly labor in China or India costs Apple around $6 to $10 per phone. But if we move that to the United States, that number skyrockets to $30 to $60 per phone or even more. This is due to the higher minimum wage and better working conditions in the US. That's a significant jump, and it's just the beginning. Next, let's talk components. Most of the parts inside your iPhone, like chips from Taiwan and Korea, and displays from Japan and China, are made in Asia. These regions have specialized in producing these components at a lower cost, due to economies of scale and lower labor costs. If Apple had to source or produce these components in the US, they'd face higher wages, more expensive factories, and stricter regulations. This would not only increase the cost of each component but also slow down the production process due to regulatory compliance. This could push the component costs up by 20 to 30% or more, and let's not forget the initial investment required to set up these high-tech factories in the US. So, what does that mean for the final price you pay? Let's break it down. Currently, the iPhone 15 Pro Max 256GB model sets you back around $1,200. This price already includes a profit margin for Apple, as well as costs for marketing, research and development, and other overheads. But fully made in the USA, that's a different story. Economists and analysts estimate the price could jump to anywhere between $1,700 and $2,000. This is because the increased costs of labor and components would be passed on to the consumer. That's a hefty $500 to $800 increase. And this doesn't even account for potential tariffs or trade restrictions that could further inflate the price. And it's all down to labor, logistics, and domestic component production. The logistics of transporting components within the US could also add to the cost, as the supply chain would be less efficient compared to the established global network. Now, let's put that into perspective. Would the average consumer be willing to pay this premium for a US-made iPhone? Would you be willing to fork out an extra several $100s for a US-made iPhone? It's a tough call, especially when you consider that the functionality and features of the phone would remain the same, but it's fascinating to see just how globalization keeps our gadgets affordable. The interconnectedness of global supply chains allows companies like Apple to produce high-quality products at a lower cost. So there you have it. The true cost of a US-made iPhone isn't just a few extra bucks, it's a whole different ballgame. Would you still buy one? The decision ultimately comes down to personal values and financial priorities. Let me know in the comments below. Would you support a US-made iPhone despite the higher cost? Let me know in the comments below. Your opinions matter and could spark an interesting discussion. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more tech insights. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more intriguing tech topics.